the people of sake actually brought me into sake.
Back in 1988, this place was actually in Ginza on the main drag.
At first it was kind of soy sauce, it was miso.
To the point where it actually changed my life.
New Year's Day 1989.
Not just sake as a beverage, but all the culture and history.
Thank you for turning into another episode of Sake on Air, the world's first podcast dedicated to expanding the dialogue surrounding Japan's iconic beverages, sake, shochu, and awamori. My name is Miho, and I'm joined today by Madoka and Maurice. And together we'll be talking about awamori in Okinawa and where people can find good awamori spots in Naha and beyond. Thank you for coming today, Maurice and Madoka.
Hi.
Hey.
We all met in JSS's Sake and Shochu Academy 2021.
I guess so.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
It was
like COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID.
Post-COVID, I guess.
Yeah, it was during COVID. It was
right?
freak one because no one could come from outside of the country.
Yeah.
They did it with all domestic.
And we're all masked and everything.
Yeah. So could you briefly introduce yourself to the audience? Maybe let's start with Madoka.
Okay. So I'm Madoka. I'm originally from Toyama, but since I used to live in Hong Kong for like 10 years, I couldn't stay with the cold weather anymore. That is why since 2015, I moved to Okinawa, and since then I am the resident here in Naha.
Great. I didn't know you were from Toyama.
Yeah, I'm from the sake world, actually.
Great. Maurice?
Hello, everyone. I'm originally from the United States. Grew up in New Mexico, and then I joined the Air Force and moved out here to Okinawa. And I decided I liked it here and wanted to stay, so that's what I did. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Great. So what's your relationship with awamori? How did you get into the awamori world besides being in Okinawa?
To me, I'm originally a big fan of awamori, and not just awamori, but any sort of alcoholic beverages made with rice. So sake is my favorite too, but awamori is one of my favorite from the very beginning, even before I start to live in Okinawa. So yeah, so basically I love awamori. I mean, I love to drink awamori. And other than that, part of my job is introducing the charm of awamori to overseas people. So currently I like introducing some nice brand to someone living in Okinawa. Someone not living in Okinawa, to help some kind of connection, make some connection between the awamori distilleries with the overseas market, something like that. So that's how we started. I mean, how I started the kind of interaction with awamori.
Great.
Yeah.
What about you, Maurice?
Kind of similar, but of course, when I first came to Okinawa, I did not know what awamori was, and it just took me, going out first. The first experience I think was at a club, and the free drink was awamori, but it was like
Really?
it was like very bottom of the barrel type stuff, and it was free, so it was just like, oh, what is this? This is awamori, and then that was kind of my perception of awamori, and it didn't really taste very well, right? But then going out with friends, Japanese friends, to izakayas, I kind of learned more about awamori because that's most what people, the guys especially, were drinking. So I said, I've had it before, but what is this? This tastes totally different. Oh, that's also awamori. But so that kind of like began my interest in awamori, and I wanted to learn more, and then eventually I wanted to help teach and like Madoka said, help export as well. Yeah.
Great. Some of our listeners may not know what awamori is, so can one of you explain what awamori is?
Madoka. You want to take
What is
that?
sensei? No. Please go ahead.
What it is on the basic sense is a rice distilled spirit. So it's made from rice, black koji. And typically, traditionally, we use Thai rice, but it doesn't have to be Thai rice. It can be it can be Japanica rice as well. So rice, koji, and of course, yeast. And it's a one-time distillate, one-time fermentation. Basically, the range of alcohol percentage is between 30% to all the way up to 44% is the most common range. Did I miss anything you want to chime in? Or
And also there are like 44 or 5
Mhm.
distilleries in Okinawa, including Ishigaki or Miyako
Yeah,
Islands.
cool. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. So there are at least 44, 5 different types of brands
yeah.
the consumers can enjoy.
And they, of course, they make, various different products, including liqueurs as well. So
Yeah.
Rice, koji based spirit. I guess that's what
yes.
it is. Which is kind of hard to imagine what the taste would be like.
Right.
What does
Yeah.
it taste like to you? I guess there are many different varieties, but what's the most common type of what do you, what does it taste like?
It's funny because the last time I was on a similar podcast, I kind of stumbled with this one because it's like it tastes like rice, but it was hard to describe the taste for people who have never tasted it before. But I think you get a lot of to me you get a lot of earthiness, and of course it depends on the brand and also on the distillery and the region from they're producing the product. So earthiness, and if it's especially with aged awamori, you get a little bit more of the. A lot of people say a lot of the caramel notes, some of the sweetness, but that it doesn't. It's not limited, of course, to aged awamori.
Mm. And recently, some type of awamori does have a very fruity notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like apple,
Yeah,
pineapple, mango, such kind of flavors.
yeah. You see a lot of like more recently, some more experimentation with different types of yeast. So some of them are using like sake yeast or hibiscus yeast, and that kind of brings out more of the fruity flavors
Mm.
and aromas too. Like a lot of different aromas come off of that as well.
So it's a lot more diversified, I think.
So how do Okinawan people drink it usually?
At the izakaya, usually mixed with water, mizuwari, or also you can mix with soda. Soda water is also really popular, or black coffee. At home, I also drink it on the rocks or with water with a little bit of lemon slice, or just to kind of add some citrus flavors to it. Mhm.
Right.
Also, recently there are some bars are offering cocktail base. They're using awamori as a cocktail base.
Yes.
So there are a lot more kind of creative ideas that the travelers also can, start with. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good.
nice destinations here and there these days. So I think this could be a very good touching point.
Very important, I think, as an entry to Awamori is the cocktail because it's similar to whiskey in that it's a spirit of over 40 degrees ABV, but for people who are not used to drinking, it's a clear spirit, of course. So people who are not used to drinking a clear spirit on the rocks or straight, or it may be a little bit too much for them. So to start them off with a cocktail, I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
For me, because it's an Okinawan drink, awamori always has this cultural image of, I don't know, like when I drink awamori, I think of this warm tropical island,
Mhm.
and the very distinct Okinawan traditional music.
Mm.
Because I associate the drink with, the local izakayas where, this music's always playing. To me, it's a very special drink that has so much culture attached to it.
Oh yes.
Mhm.
So, as a tourist visiting Okinawa and not knowing anything about Awamori, where is a good place to start?
Well, I think I can start by saying it kind of depends on how deep they want to go. So if you want to
Mm,
go like really deep into it, I would say start with a distillery tour, like schedule a distillery tour. A lot of them are really open to the public, and some of them they start you off with a film, typically in English or subtitled with English, and some of them have translators there for you as well, and it kind
really?
of like mhm. So I think I would say Zuisen, and the reason
Mm,
why is because it's right next to, really close to
Yep,
Shuri Castle.
agree.
So,
Mm.
and then they have the video, they have, the last time I was there, which was recently, they have a translator there, so you can do the distillery tour, and then
mm.
close to Zuisen is Shikina. So Shikina is a very small distillery, so you can see the big difference between a large distillery and then a much smaller one from Zuisen and Shikina. So you kind of get a good idea of the range. And of course, the Yukimura at Sakimoto Distillery. Mhm. That one's good because you get a lot more of the cultural. It's a cultural theme park, I guess. So you get so much culture immersed at Yukimura, as well as a distillery tour for Awamori.
And Herios is also another fun destination, I
Yeah,
think,
yes, yes.
for they have a very beautiful bar
Mm,
inside their store, I mean the shop. And I remember they have a translator as well, probably by request, but yeah, so someone could help translating, especially if someone wants to taste different kinds of awamori.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So at these distilleries, you can see the actual production, or do they explain how awamori is made?
they do explain. They do explain. Of course, it depends on where you go, but the videos do well to explain. And I think as far as production, it kind of just depends on the time of year that you're
Mm,
visiting and what step in the process they're doing. Um, a lot of them have viewing rooms that you can actually see. I mean, might not necessarily be able to go in, but you'll be able to see the production process.
right. Is there a season for awamori production, or is it usually all year round?
It's usually all year round, but I think different phases within the production
Mm.
are limited to seasonal. Am I right there, Madoka? Do you know? Or
If someone really wants to go deeper, maybe um Chuko Distillery is offering the
well,
making experience by
well,
yourself.
wow.
Really?
Yeah, but by reservation. So you have to pre-book, but they have a smaller facility for experiencing all kind of the process. So this could be more advanced level, I should say.
Mm,
The more you know, probably the more you want to touch. And yeah, they will provide you the final products a
yeah.
few months later. You can receive it, something like that. So
So
this
when
could be,
the
yeah,
album
with
right
your,
that you wow,
yeah. So I think this could be very interesting experience.
I want to try that.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I had an opportunity to help translate there, and it was like so detailed. I was like, oh wait, what now? Because my Japanese is not native, so I was struggling with that one, but it was fun. I think I learned a lot from that experience. Very detailed. Yeah.
Wow. Well, how long is this awamori making experience at Chuko? Do you know?
Oh, I have um experienced once, not me, but I was a translator to help some kind of overseas guests to experience it before. It was about 2 hours or so. Yeah, you could book online or you could make a reservation by
Ah,
call.
okay.
Yeah,
so definitely
so
within the one day thing, huh? Yeah.
yeah, within a few hours
Mm-hmm.
thing. So nothing too serious, but you can really touch base,
Yeah.
experience it. So yeah,
Uh, I would like to try that. It sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah.
I didn't know they were actually doing. I knew that I thought that they make it for you, and I think they do also do that. Like
I think so.
you can buy your own cask or jar or something,
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah,
jar,
yeah,
the
yeah,
clay pots.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that that was all they were doing, but that's interesting that you can also
Mm,
experience it.
yeah. Oh yeah, they are still running this handcraft experience.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm. It was kind of paused during the COVID time, and yeah, they just restarted. So yeah, could be one option, I
Yeah.
think.
After the distillery tour or distillery visit, what would be a good place to go taste it in or outside of Naha?
Mm. Outside of tasting.
Yeah, if so, for example, if someone wants to taste a wide range of awamori, would there be a good bar or a shop?
Awamori Plus is good. It's in Oahu. Yeah,
Yeah, we
Awamori
went
Plus. Yeah,
together.
what's the one? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, the three of us. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Um, what's the other one? Madoka, I always mispronounce it. Onoide.
Ah,
Onoide.
Oninode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one.
Oninode is a very fun place. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
experience a wide range of awamori and very traditional karakara and chibuwa, which is a traditional serving containers, and also the cup
Mhm.
for
Yeah, yeah.
awamori. And well, there are beautiful selection, and yeah, and also
Mm.
his food are really nice too. So
Right.
yeah, Oninode is a must-go
Hmm.
destination for
Yeah.
Awamori.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've been there. I need to go because I follow him on social media, so it's like
Uh,
I often see his posts like, man, I wish I could go, you know. Yeah,
his food is getting more and more creative, so I think yeah, it's worth a visit.
yeah. He does well with the food pairing and
Oh yeah,
everything. Yeah, it's really interesting. So I think those two, of course, our Murray Plus also has food. Yeah, so they have a
more
good selection
casual.
as well. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely more of a casual kind of vibe. And there was the other one that you took me to that in Naha, also in Naha. I
Mm.
don't remember that. It was like an
Oh,
older.
Omoro.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Omoro is also one of the very traditional Okinawan style izakaya, where they serve very traditional Okinawan food with a lot of good aged awamori, kusu.
It seems like most of them are in Naha.
Kome could be not one of the casual choice.
Kome?
Kome is the neighbor of Elekio.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
also serve most of all awamori available in Okinawa, and the way they serve is quite casual in a way. Like they serve awamori with the sparkling soda,
Mm.
sparkling water, and also with shikwasa in special tailor-made glasses. So I think it could be also fun and very approachable for tourists.
But it is an izakaya type of.
Mm, yeah,
Did I? I think maybe I went there too.
yeah, I
Maybe,
think
yeah,
so. I've been there.
once.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. And the cocktail destination, Elekio.
Yeah, I was actually at Kome too.
Yeah, they are neighbors, so I think two in one set, two in one night is the
Yeah.
best.
They are really innovative cocktails, especially with the Awamori, based cocktails as
Mm.
well. Very interesting. And Ryukyu Labo,
Ah, yeah.
Ryukyu Drink Lab. Nahas get all the fun.
Yeah, it's very compact, so I think you can
Yeah.
visit one after another in one
Oh
night.
yeah, get a lot done. That's the beauty of
Mm,
partying in Naha. They're
Mm,
also close proximity to each other.
yeah.
Maurice, you are based in Okinawa City, right?
Yes,
Are there any recommendations there?
there's one. I think it's called Kusu. Remember Madoka? I think we went together with it
Yeah,
there.
I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
What's the name? Okinawa
Kusu. I think it's called Kusu. Yeah, it's the
Kusu or Kusuya or something like that.
Yeah, Kusu. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, very interesting. Also, that one's been there for. They have a huge selection. I just kind of one night stumbled upon it, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is all Awamori." So
Yeah, it does have a very long name, actually. Kusu Rakuen Nakanomachi. Kusu
there you
Rakuen.
go, Rakuen. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I don't like no other specific Awamori bar comes to mind at the moment. I think that's pretty much, especially around this area, maybe the
Mm.
only one. Others, of course, have Awamori, but not specific to Awamori. Yeah.
So when you go to these awamori bars, what do you usually order? Is there an order of awamori you usually do, or yeah, how do you order your awamori?
Good question. I think for me, I kind of have a more of a familiarity with Awamori, so it's kind of like maybe I want to try a specific distillery or region within
Hmm.
Okinawa. Like I want to try from northern Okinawa, Nakijin or something. But if I were thinking as a beginner, I think I would start with the alcohol percentage. I would look at the alcohol percentage and see like maybe if it's a 30% or below. And then I think I would start with that first. Just kind of get a feel of without being too high, getting too drunk off of a sip. Kind
Hmm.
of got to pace yourself, right? So
Right.
I think that's how I would start, but without knowing anything else other than that, then that's how I'd start. You know, 'cause of course, beginners wouldn't necessarily know. Well, but I actually had people ask me like, so if they're all using the same ingredients, like what differentiates one from the other? I told her, yeah, that's a good question. You know, you just kind of have to jump in and just try different ones. I think then you kind of decide what you like and what you don't like, and then go with that.
Do you have any recommendations, Madoka-san?
It really depends, but depending on what you are eating or depending on the situation, if you are after meal or before or together, really
Mm.
depends. But to me, I usually ask for something light or something rich and let the restaurant or the bar to choose good one for me.
Mm,
Yeah, recently I do that. So um waiting for their recommendation, but give them some sort of my feeling, like I feel like drink something light or I feel like drink something very heavy. Then usually they will give me some suggestion or recommendation. So I basically follow.
Uh, do you
Yeah,
also
that
ask for
mm,
recommendations on how to drink the awamori as well? Because it can be sodawari or mizuwari or straight.
yeah. Yeah, I will also mention that I need something with the bubbles, or yeah, I already had my dinner, so I want to go neat. So give me something strong, or maybe something for the finish my palate. I mean, clear my palate, something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, then usually professionals can give me nice one.
I think that's why it's important to go to those awamori bars because
Mm,
they listen and then they like they kind of can give suggestions.
Yeah, I usually go for something rich and heavy tasting. I like mizuwari with no ice.
mhm,
So
Mm,
I
yeah.
tend to order that. But Madoka-san, you introduced us to danboru,
Oh yeah,
mm.
and
that's
that
always
was
the best start.
amazing.
Yeah, Dumbledore is so approachable and so
Yeah.
just really friendly Awamori, I think.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
want to tell our listeners what it is?
Dumbledore is a kind of a whiskey soda, similar concept of whiskey soda, but Dandu is one of a brand produced by Kamimura Distillery, where the location is right in the middle of Okinawa, Uruma City. And they are the one who started to release aged Awamori in the cask barrel. So they are the first distillery who start to sell Awamori flavor with a little bit of whiskey, kind of oaky, woody flavor. And yeah, it gains a lot of fans. And the most popular way to serve it or enjoy it is with soda. So we call it damboru, just like a highball.
Right.
Yeah.
And danboru in Japanese means cardboard.
Yeah.
So it's a pun.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. So there is one restaurant. It's also a very classic Okinawan style restaurant with a lot of awamori selection. It's called Karakara to Chibuguwa. Is also a very nice place where they are also promoting danryu dambor really well.
That one's also in Naha, right?
Yeah.
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 it's an interesting drink because it's refreshing, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it has such a warm taste.
Yeah.
It's a little bit casky, but also very vanilla-y and like caramelly. So yeah, it's so easy to drink and yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Great starter drink.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. I totally agree.
I wish I had
Mm.
one right now.
Oh.
I actually went to Okinawa antenna shop in Tokyo to get sandu, so I could make tambor at home.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great drink.
Yeah.
Are there any other bars? So, um, if someone wants a more cultural experience with Awamori, with maybe like music and traditional dance or something, are there places that you recommend? Because Awamori is not just a drink; it's so ingrained in Okinawan culture. So I think to have a full experience, they have to go to a local izakaya with local drinkers.
Right.
I think the best location for that is Kokusai Street in
Mm,
Naha. So along Kokusai Street, there are several, izakaya that do the live minyo folk music.
mhm.
So the traditional Okinawan folk music, they'll do a lot of performances are in Naha. Well, of course, some are here in Okinawa City as well. I think Okinawa City tends to be, especially this area, Koza, tends to be more blues rock. Of course, live music is very popular here as well, but it's more of kind of a modern vibe here.
Do they drink awamori with modern rock?
Yes, I think the older generation, maybe some young people too, but I think it's more the older generation will drink awamori. Young people drink, the lemon sour or the beer.
Is that true for all of Okinawa? Are young people not drinking awamori as much?
I think so, especially if I compare, 20, 30 years ago when I first got here, I think people were drinking more. I think that's just not just awamori though. I think that's in general. People were drinking more um, compared to now. People tend to drink less or lower ABV. With the exception to this is Nakanomachi area of that. I think this is an exception because there are a lot of bars and that tend to stay open late or early in the morning around me. So I think this
Definitely
is
for heavy
this
drinkers.
right. I think this area may be an exception. But overall, in general, I think people tend to drink less nowadays.
I see. I also just, sorry, slightly off topic, but I just remembered about Awamori Kohi.
Mm,
You know how that whole thing started? Because it tastes really wonderful, but it's
mhm.
Yeah.
very potent.
I think, don't quote me, but with Awamori, of course, there is no second fermentation, so there is no adding of ingredients like with shochu. You can add mugi or kome or whatever whatever shochu that you're going for. But with Awamori, you're kind of limited to one um, fermentation, so there is no second fermentation. So I think people at the izakaya, if they don't want to drink mizuwari, they kind of experiment with different mixers. So it kind of like you mix it with milk. When I first got here, I was like, why would you mix it with milk? But it's actually really, really good mixing with milk. I think people just kind of reach for whatever's close by, and then coffee, of course, goes well. You know, like I mentioned before, the citrus like lemon or the local shikwasa, the local lime. That is also a common mixer. Sparkling water, of course. I've heard some people mix it with tonic water. There's a variety of mixers, and I think coffee just kind of, especially black coffee, kind of just went well with it. Goes well. Continues to be a popular mixer. Mhm.
Yeah, they even have a pre-mixed, like RTD coffee awamori.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, it's almost like a guilty pleasure because it has this like a really nice sweetness to it,
yeah.
and the nuttiness from awamori makes it taste so good. But
Mhm.
one's an upper and one's a downer, so it just feels so wrong. So in Okinawa, I also see a lot of these ready-made awamori, so like 12% ABV, already mixed with water. Are they popular amongst the locals, or is it more for tourists?
I think the target is tourists, or I do see them a lot also in the convenience stores.
Yeah.
Whereas, or you just grab it and go, sit on the seawall looking at the ocean or something, and you just want to sip slowly. They cut it for you, so it's just like perfect for sipping.
Mm.
Right.
And the price is so reasonable, just a
Hmm.
few hundred yen. And
Right.
all you need is just buy some ice.
Yeah.
That's a very easygoing drink.
Yeah. Very convenient. Yeah.
Mm.
You mentioned some of the more recent movement in Awamori, like diversifying, for example, the variety of yeast. I recently also saw an article in Inflight magazine about how Zampa came up with a banana yeast. What's the current trend and what's been happening in the past, say, like 5 years in Awamori?
To me, I think experimentation with different yeasts or different production times and durations. It kind of I see more experimentation, I think, on that.
Right. So, for example, in shochu, there is that little boom of aromatic shochu that has more like, lychee, tropical fruit, like aroma, that is very different from traditional classic shochu. Is there something like that in Awamori as well?
Yeah, I think, say like Shimauta from Masahiro Distillery or the Akari from Kikunotsuyu, those two are kind of new trend of Awamori, which does have a lot of fruity aroma and a lot more refreshing kind of aftertaste. So unlike very traditional Awamori, strong character is just being covered. Instead, have more fruity, light, kind of easy, more approachable flavor.
I think those two specifically, I think they are also
Yeah,
targeting the younger generation,
yeah, for
especially
sure.
trying to reach is it also lower ABV? It's like
Yeah,
25%.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
I think they really thought about who they wanted to target, right? So there's like, okay, we'll make it a little bit more approachable for specifically for the younger generation. So you'll see commercials on television with the younger crowd. They have comedians as the ambassadors, so they kind of, trying to push for that.
Do they have a different type of packaging? Because Awamori has this classic Awamori has a very certain look and label design. Are these new products, um, do they look a little different?
Mm, it's much more eye-catching, and you can
Yes,
remember, when you see it, you can remember it.
right.
So yeah,
Very, they're clear bottles, very modern labels, very attractive.
Interesting. How do they make this fruitiness in Awamori? I'm just wondering.
what I heard is they use some special yeast
Okay.
to give some fruity aroma.
Okay. And maybe do vacuum distillation.
I guess so.
Some of them, I think, like another one is Shima Urara from Yaisen.
Ah,
Yeah, they do.
yeah,
I think that's vacuum distilled, but also it's made with Ishigaki grown rice. So I think that's maybe another trend. Some brands are using the Japanese rice,
right.
and I think Masahiro also makes one, and then of course Zui-sen makes one.
Hamimura
Yeah, yeah,
also. Mhm.
yeah. So
Interesting. Does that affect the flavor profile?
I don't, yeah, maybe there may be a small, minute change, difference, but I don't think it's very noticeable for most people.
Hmm.
Like you can't really attribute that alone. There are other factors, I think, that maybe stand out more. I think it's more of a, kind of wanting to boost the local economy is another drive for that. And just kind of more of experimentation, like let's try Japanese rice as opposed to Thai rice.
Right. Yeah, I forget, but maybe we didn't mention that awamori is usually made with Thai rice, which is a long, thin-grained rice, as opposed to what we eat in Japan, round, sticky type. But the newer trend is to use more Japanese round-grained sticky rice
Right.
in production.
Or even some islands, they're producing indica rice in Okinawa, like Izena
Oh,
or the
mm,
Iheya Island. They're producing local grown indica rice. So some distilleries are also using those Japanese, I mean, Okinawan grown indica rice to make awamori. Yeah, this is also another kind of trend, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
interesting. So it's still Japanese rice, but it's not
yeah,
Japonica rice.
exactly. So
It's
it's not as like,
Japanese
yeah,
indica
yeah,
rice.
something like that.
Interesting.
right. And are these indicated on the label? Can you tell when you're buying a product that
Yeah, I
the
think
specific?
so. I think they are mentioning it.
But
Okay,
it says just Japanese rice though, right? It doesn't, maybe some of them. It doesn't kind of depend on
Mm.
the
Maybe they just
product, maybe.
mentioned local grown rice. Yeah, like I remember Shinzato is also producing something uh with the local grown indica rice, I guess. But
So there's quite a few of them that use it then, that use, or
mm,
yeah.
yeah, no, that's very cool. Okinawa definitely has that history of trading with surrounding areas and countries. So I'm sure, like, rice has been imported for centuries.
Centuries, yes.
So, so for that, I don't really feel. So sometimes with GIs, I feel a little doubtful when they don't really use local ingredients. But I think for in case of GI Ryukyu Awamori, I think it's okay. But I also really want to support the local industry and farming as
Yeah,
well. So that's a very cool new move.
that's very important. But I don't think many people want to farm rice, right? The young people, I'm not going out there. That is back-breaking work, right? So
Yeah, and it's very hot. And yeah, was rice cultivation big ever in Okinawa? Do you know?
I don't think so. This is why they had to import, for centuries, because it wasn't, I think it's very difficult to grow rice here.
Right, because the soil doesn't like soil drains water very quickly, right?
Right.
Hmm. Well, but um, yeah, I support this new movement.
Yeah, I'm always interested in if they, what type of rice. I think that's kind of like one of the questions that we ask now is like, where's the rice? Is it Thai rice or not, or local grown
Yeah.
rice? But whereas before that was, oh, it's of course it's Thai rice, but not so much nowadays.
And so now that less and less young people are drinking, what's the future of awamori industry? Are distilleries closing down, or are people still going into to make awamori? Like, is there a new generation coming up?
I think the new generation maybe not, they may not drink awamori, but they work for awamori distilleries, or they work in promotions or distribution, or so awamori distilleries are doing more or trying to do more outreach, um, build awareness globally, not just within Japan. So I see that a lot of distilleries are attending exhibitions overseas or trying to participate more in global outreach. Because they know, I think they realize that, okay, we can't rely solely on domestic distribution. We have to kind of expand and grow and continue to innovate, continue to experiment.
Right. And what's the general response when you take awamori outside of the country? How do people like the taste?
I think recently I was able to go to Poland and participate in an exhibition. And that event was specifically for whiskey. It was a Warsaw Whiskey Live, and so people were expecting Japanese whiskey, and they came up asking, "Is this Japanese whiskey? No. Is it? What is it? Gin? We're like, no. Is it, what is it? Or Awamori? They're like, what? What is that? So we had, that was an opportunity to explain what Awamori is, and then give them a taste. And of course, the Polish were more familiar with vodka, so they said, "Oh wow, this is very good." And a lot of really good questions came from that. A lot of really good, thought-provoking questions. So I was impressed with that. Yeah, and I think similarly in the U.S. or other areas that I was fortunate to travel for Aomori, the same thing. A lot of people seem to be really interested in it. They just didn't know or maybe heard of it but never tasted it before. So I think we're still in that phase of getting the word out and spreading awareness.
So I guess the easiest way to promote it is to the people who come to Okinawa, I guess. And I hope this episode can help that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah.
Is there anything else that we should add?
I think, I just kind of welcome people if they have any questions, or if they have plans to visit Okinawa and would like to visit a distillery, to reach out to myself or to Madoka, and,
Yeah, we are happy
we would be
to.
happy to help.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great. So it's 7:30 in the evening on a Friday. If you were to drink awamori right now, what would it be?
I think I would go for, you know what, we were talking about dumb so I think I would go
I was
with
thinking the
Yeah,
same.
same.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had some awamori last night, but I drank mizuwari with the lemon slice and a
Oh.
little cucumber. Oh, cucumber too. I forgot to mention that. It's really good. But so to go a different route, I think I would go for a down boulder right now with no lemon needed.
Yeah, Marako-san, it's the same for you.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, but let me think another thing then. But I would definitely need something with sparkling water as well. So maybe I would choose, no, let me go easy. Shimauta with soda. Yeah, it's
Mm,
very simple, easy, kind of not even a cocktail, but it's a very easy drink that you can make at home.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go for Danboru.
Oh,
I can really use a glass of Danboru right now after a very long week.
Yeah, you sound like you're ready for one.
Yeah, we should
Yes,
have a glass.
especially
Mm,
yes, ready for a good camporter.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, sounds great.
Thank you so much for coming and talk to us today. And I really hope that this helps people to experience Awamori when they visit Okinawa,
Yes.
get more interested to learn more about Awamori. So, and that's it for this episode of Sake on Air. Please take a moment to review and rate us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you are enjoying the show. Feel free to send your questions and comments to questions@sakeonair or @sakeonair on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find our shows and more on our YouTube channel.
Sake on Air is made possible with the generous support of the Japan Sake and Shochu Makers Association and is broadcast from the Japan Sake and Shochu Information Center in downtown Tokyo. It is produced by Export Japan, and our team is Shuso Imada, Justin Potts, Arlene Lyons, Cindy Bissig, Chris Hughes, Chris Pellegrini, John Dontner, Marie Nagata, Miho Ota, Rebecca Wilson-Lai, Sebastian Luan, and me, Frank Walter. Until next time, kampai!